Hello, welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger on November 8th, 2020. With different parts of the country going into lockdown mode, we're starting to see more people going into the street, gathering in large crowd, going to protesting losing their freedom, and so on and so on. Now, I already mentioned my thoughts on activities like that in the past episode, so I'm not going to go into that again. But it's because of that, because of all this going on, that made me think of uh, what I'm thinking of, which is the whole topic of freedom. Last week, we talked about freedom. Is it a God-given right, or is it a privilege? Well, this week I want to narrow our focus and talk about the freedom of speech. In this day and age, a lot of us are fortunate enough to be born at a time, to be born in countries where we take freedom of speech totally for granted. We have the right to express ourselves, we have the right to say whatever we want. But at the same time, less and less people take responsibility for what they say. If you speak to a person who studies psychology or sociology or English literature or even history, a lot of these people will tell you that words have power. That sounds like a simple concept, like anyone who sit down long enough and sit still and think about it for a couple of minutes and realize that yes, words have power. In fact, I will tell you, I will go this far and I will say that there is magic in the world around us. Not the kind of magic that makes things happen when you wave your hand or a magic wand, maybe, but you could make things happen or change the course of events by putting together a string of syllables and forming sentences. And depending on your tone and the structure of that sentence and the word you choose to use, you can reach different outcomes. Sometimes these outcomes are very, very momentous. Of course, that largely depending on your station in life as well. Something that Johnny Tiger says, obviously, is not going to have a bigger impact as something Justin Trudeau says. But again, that's really depending on what we're talking about. If we are in a martial art dojo talking about self-defense, then maybe something that Johnny Tiger says would have way more impact than something Justin Trudeau can say. We don't know that. I'm just flattering myself, making me feel good, whatever. On the topic of feeling good, you can easily make people feel good, and the degree of you making them feel good, how good you make them feel, how long will they continue to feel good, it's largely depending on the word you choose and the tone you use. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you go into the office and you say to your coworker, you say to your female coworker, "Hey, you look nice," and then you walk away. It may make her feel good for 10 to 20 minutes maybe, and then she'll forget about it. And then when there's something that come up that upset her, then she totally is not going to remember that one of her coworker, made a remark that she looked good. On the contrary, if you say to your coworker, "Hey, I just want to let you know you are beautiful," that not only makes them feel good, it is going to make her feel good probably for days, for weeks, for months to come. Whenever she is in a bad mood, whenever she feels doubt in herself, she thinks that there's someone who said to her that she looks beautiful. And that's going to make a big difference in that person's demeanor, how they feel about themselves, how they feel when dealing with people around them. Similarly, you can achieve different effect, different outcome, different kind of intensity by what tone you choose to use when you deliver a speech or deliver words. Hello, welcome back to Soul Search Sunday. A tone like this is relaxed, laid back, and might make you feel good. Might make you feel good enough to at least you want to spend the rest of the video listening to a blind guy talking crap. Now, if I start the video and I said, "Hello, welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger," I think most of you wouldn't uh, be able to suffer through that for even 2 minutes. So yes, I myself tap into the magic of words, the magic of tones, as often as I can to achieve whatever result I want to get the best out of life, in another word. I'm definitely no master in this art, but at least I recognize it enough to make me pay attention, to try to moderate my speech pattern, my tone, the words I choose. But more and more often, that is not the case with people. More and more often, I come across people, old, young, boys, girls, men, women. They open their mouth and it's like blah 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 blah. Every day, every minute, every word, it just come out of them like diarrhea of the mouth. No control, no moderation, no thought behind the word, and afterward they don't take responsibility for what they say because, hey, we have the freedom of speech. We can say whatever we want, however we want. You know, when I was little, when I was a teenager, me and my brothers went through a period of time where we tried to rebel and fight for our right at home. And one of the conversations we had with my dad that stuck with me all these years because of um, how undefeatable my dad's logic was, how impeccable his logic was when I said to my dad, "Dad, you got to realize, okay, this is 1995. We are in Canada. We are not in Taiwan. We are not in the 15th century. We have rights now, right? We have the government, the constitution tell us we have rights. And one of these rights is the freedom of speech. You got to realize that it's a different time. We're in different countries. There is freedom of speech." My dad said, "Well, sure, yeah, go ahead. You're free to say whatever you want. But if I don't like what you have to say, then it's going to be on your own head. Whatever happened to you after that. But yeah, sure, go ahead, say it. Say it. You have the freedom of speech. I'm not telling you not to say it. I'm telling you, if I don't like what you have to say, then too bad for you. That's all." How can you argue against that? And then my dad sobered up. Well, not really sobered up because my dad was never a drinker, but he got serious. And my dad said, "Look, you guys want to talk about your rights? You all want to talk about your right to privacy, to lock your room door? You want to talk about your right to freedom of speech? You want to talk about your right to this and to that? I'm not going to sit here and argue with you because you guys got an education. I don't. But guess where did you guys get this education? I paid for it. And you know what else I know? Is while you guys have the freedom of privacy, you guys have right to privacy, you got the freedom of speech, you got freedom of this, freedom of that. I have my rights too. And it is well in my right to tell you, no, you're not going to get the new PlayStation. No, you are not going to get the next video game. No, we are not going to have TV in our house anymore. And it is my right to say, no, I'm not going to drive you to this or that, or you can't borrow the car. And I'm going to say, it is my right to say, no, you're not going to get steak or McDonald's. You're going to eat whatever your mom cooks for you. That's it. So do you really want to play that game? Let me tell you, we shut up really quick after that. Was my dad a bit of a bully, a bit of a tyrant? Yes, of course. Of course he was. But he taught me. I don't know about the rest of my brothers. I don't know how they feel about it. But he taught me a valuable, valuable lesson that day. He taught me that just because you say you have the right, that doesn't make it so. Someone who have more authority, someone who have more power, someone who have bigger fists or muscles, someone who have guns or knives, someone who have control over you can easily make it so you don't want to exercise those rights. And when it comes to speaking your mind, it is important to remember that whatever you say, there can be consequences. Often there are consequences. Maybe you don't see it right away, but these consequences may come back and haunt you somewhere down the road. You may say something and then forget about it, but someone you said that thing to may be hurt so much that they go home and a week later, after spending the rest of the week having replaying what you say over and over again in their head, they decide to hunt you down and kill you, or do something bad to your family, or break the window in your house, or they may decide to kill themselves. Some of this is not in our control, but we should all take responsibility in what we say because words are really, really powerful. But at the same time, it is very important to recognize that yes, there are things that we should take responsibility for. There are actions and words we definitely should take responsibility for. But there are things that we should not even consider taking responsibility for. Because while words are powerful, and yes, we got to be careful how we don't want to misuse this power, we also have the responsibility to protect ourselves from being negatively affected by other people mismanaging of their words. For example, I think most of us, for a large part of our life, react very strongly when someone say, "I'm mad at you," or "You are pissing me off." It makes your stomach want to clench up. It makes you want to hunch in upon yourself. It makes you want to back away. It makes you want to raise your voice and defend yourself. It makes you want to hit the person. It makes you want to run away. It invokes a strong feeling in yourself because this is what we are programmed into feeling from an early age. As a kid, I learned early on pissing someone off was a bad idea because who would I piss off the most? Most often, most readily, would be my dad. And pissing my dad off made my dad angry. It was definitely a bad idea. So that stuck with me for a long time until I could finally recognize the brainwashing enough to get it out of my system. So now I can stand my ground. If someone says they're angry with me, they're mad at me, it's not that I don't care, but I no longer let it affect me so much that it's debilitating. It no longer provoke a reaction in me. Most likely, if someone tells me that they're mad at me, I'll go, oh, okay, what did I do? Tell me. And if I really did something wrong, I don't mind apologizing. But by telling me you're mad at me, you're not going to make me apologize automatically. Another one of these power words, and one of these very energetic, very high impact words or phrase that we should all learn to ignore. And I'm using it all encompassing. We should all learn to ignore. It's when people say, you disappointed me or you disappoint me. Just imagine, just now, sit down and imagine hearing this said to you in your best friend's voice or your mother's voice or your father's voice. I am disappointed in you. I am really disappointed in you. I imagine for most people this engenders a very bad feeling in your mind, in your head. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel responsible. It makes you feel that you just are no good. You failed. You want to curl up and crawl into a hole and die. But this is also pointless. This is not something anyone should feel responsible for. When someone says they are disappointed in you, no matter who they are, you should not let that energy in because it is nothing you can do to prevent it. And when it's nothing we can do to prevent it, then we don't even need to deal with it. We don't even need to worry about it. Because no one can live a life without disappointing somebody. I lived my life disappointing a lot of people, including myself sometimes. For example, when I was going into college, I had several choices in front of me. A lot of people, my teachers and other relatives, told me that I should become a teacher, that I was so suited to be a teacher. I was a good teacher. If I did what they said, then I would disappoint my father. Because to my father, it was to become a lawyer or else. But if I did what my father said, I would disappoint those other people. And most importantly, if I picked teacher or lawyer, one of those, I would I would please one side and disappoint the other side, but no matter which one I picked, I would disappoint myself. Because neither of those choices were what I wanted to do. So in the end, I chose to do what I wanted to do and disappoint everybody. When I won the silver medal for Canada during the Tefisa World Championship, some of my Canada teammates said we should contest the results and have a rematch because the scoring between me and the guy with the gold medal was so close. It was like 0.02 points. But I disappointed them because I didn't want to contest it. I felt that silver medal, good enough for me. I didn't disappoint myself. Exactly. Actually, I went over and beyond my expectation for myself. I was happy. I didn't need that extra step of contesting a result. When next year came around and other people asked if I was going to compete some more, and I said no, I disappointed some more people. And I know, even now, there are a lot of people disappointed in me for not going back to compete some more. But there again, I've done what I wanted to do, I've done what I set out to do. If I go back now, if I return and lose, if I don't get anything, I will disappoint myself. I will disappoint a lot of people. If I just say, hey, that one silver medal was good enough, then I will not disappoint myself, and no one can say for sure if I will get it again, or do better, or do worse. Sometimes the unknown is better. But the fact of that is, despite of what I've done in my lifetime, writing, singing, performing for thousands of people, competing in martial art, teaching martial art, counseling, so on and so on and so on, I disappointed a lot of people. So there's no way for you to live your life without someone saying they are disappointed in you. Maybe they don't say it to your face, but almost certainly, right now, at this moment, somewhere someone is saying, thinking that they are disappointed in me, in you, in everyone. So why would we saddle ourselves with a lot of negative feeling for something that we can't prevent anyway? It's pointless. Once I learned to understand that, once I sorted that out in my head and started training my thinking to recognize that, life became so much easier because that phrase no longer have power over me. When people now say to me that disappointed in me, I can smile when I say, well, I'm sorry. But you know what? That is your own problem, not mine. Thank you for checking out today's Soul Search Sunday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Music Monday. For now, stay healthy and have a good night.